So it's been about a week since I last uploaded a video on this channel, and during that time, we've seen a lot happening within the crypto market. But one of the most significant events that recently took place was the B-Word conference featuring Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, and Cathie Woods. This was one of the most anticipated events with hundreds of thousands of viewers tuning in from all around the world. And in this video, I wanted to go over some of the key points mentioned from this debate and share with you why this could be a very strong signal for crypto to be ultra bullish now. On top of that, towards the end of the video, we always got a treat for y'all, and I'm going to be going over my predictions and thoughts of what I believe is going to happen by the end of the year for the crypto market. Now, before we get started, you guys, I have a sponsor due because I haven't uploaded a video in a week. Crypto.com. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video. So they have 10 million users and they have over 100 plus cryptocurrencies at true cost. You can buy, sell, and trade crypto using Crypto.com and even get up to 14% back on select cryptocurrencies just by staking them on their app. On top of that, you can pick up a crypto Visa debit card with no annual fee that allows you to pay for purchases directly using crypto and earn additional rewards. If you haven't yet signed up for Crypto.com, check out my link down below in the description. Use code JUNG when staking your crypto on your app, and you can find yourself earning an additional $25 as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. All right, so to get started, here are my notes that I took from the B-Word conference. So if you guys didn't know, the reason why this was so impactful and so significant to the community is just because Elon Musk was finally going to talk about the environmental concerns that he was going to have about Bitcoin, which is initially the reason why Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin and pretty much created the entire collapse of the bull run over the past few months. So the idea was that if Elon had decided to accept Bitcoin for Tesla again during the B-Word conference, or he was able to talk about his thoughts and his reasons why crypto was still bad for the environment, this could be the opposite reaction to what had happened a few months ago, and this could have propelled us over into the ultra bullish category. So first, Musk said that he personally owns Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, while Tesla and SpaceX both exclusively own Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency climbed as high as $32,820 during the panel Wednesday before falling to about $31,683 at 3:49 p.m. Now, I do want to go and take a look into the chart. So Bitcoin today is at $32,393. Ethereum just a few hours ago went ahead and broke the $2,000 resistance level since it had pulled back to $1,700. By the way, for our inner circle, you can sign up through the Patreon link. However, right now, all the slots are sold out. We did make an alert on this when Ethereum, let's go to the charts. Ethereum was pulling back down to $1,700. I had made an alert within that group. Pretty much most of our group members were able to act on this, buy up the dip, and either still hold that position and still be bullish, or have just recovered any minor losses that they may have suffered from this past year. Computer's acting a little slow, a little snail speed right here. Come on. All right, here we go. As you guys know, it's very hard to time the bottom, but even entering this position to where we are at now, not a bad short-term swing trade, especially within the last 48 hours. The reason why I decided to swing trade Ethereum over Bitcoin this time was just because with Ethereum, we always see more amplified gains. And plus this time we saw Ethereum falling before Bitcoin had. So Ethereum touched 1,700 first before Bitcoin had fallen to under $29,000 within the past few days. Bitcoin right now still recovered from that. It's at $32,394. And although this isn't a significant amount, if we look at the 7-day chart, you'll notice that even with these minor dips, it still gives opportunities for new investors to still make money, even in this bear climate that we're in now. So hopefully you guys recognize this, because even within the past 3 months, we have seen this happen about 4 or 5 times. We had one little dip right here, Bitcoin going down to 32K, jumping up to 38K, and then we had another dip, 32K, all the way back up to 40K, and then we had our recent spillage of the market. If your boy can English, we had Bitcoin actually flash crash on one of these days under $30,000, quickly rebounding back to 34,000. Then we had it going back under 30,000 again, rebounding again. So what you have to realize is anytime we get these dips in the market, this is when the bears tend to get the loudest. They'll go on Twitter, they'll go on the YouTube comments and say, and now Bitcoin's under $30,000. Now it's going to free fall to 15,000 or 12,000. And they're just going to cry and complain, when in reality, they have been wrong about 5 or 6 6 times just within the past consolidation range for this run that we've had since the end of May. So what you have to realize is even when people tend to cry louder, whenever we see the price of Bitcoin heading in one direction, we've just been bouncing back up. So it has not been bullish. It has not been bearish. It's just been what they say kangaroo-ish. And we've just been jumping up and down sideways, which proves to be more buying opportunity for new investors. So hopefully when you guys see that, you are able to act on it because you can still make money in this market and not all is done. So on top of that, guys, before we get into the points of the B word conference, we do have to share with you guys some price action that we saw from some altcoins as well. I don't want to focus too much about it, but Matic and other similar altcoins had an absolute blast within the past few days. And I know people who are still swing trading these altcoins, although it's on the riskier side, just because we're still not seeing the most amount of stability with higher cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They are still running it up. Stellar XLM up 16%. We had Polygon, which had made a drastic run too. Let's pull up the charts, my people. Let's pull up the charts and see how it's doing. Look at this dip that we had. When Polygon pulled back to 63 cents, we saw it jump up. I believe it was 20 to 30% all the way to the upside of close to $1. Right under that, 92 cents, at least on the coin market cap charts, and on other platforms, it will show it had kissed right about the $1 range. So in terms of price action, we've really been all over the place. So many people are going to argue that volatility like this is going to be bad for cryptocurrency, but I still see this as a good opportunity for many new investors to either recover their gains or to enter other positions that are going to lower your average cost. So even with the way the market is right now, and even with us not seeing the crazy amount of price action that we would love to, it doesn't mean that you cannot make money here if you're still able to stay patient, have multiple accounts so you don't mess up the average cost. This is what I do. I use, for example, Webull or Robinhood, link down below in the description for some of my short-term swing trades, while for my longer positions, I keep them either on my cold storage wallet with my Ledger, or I'll go along with my BlockFi or my Coinbase account, knowing that I don't want to mess up the average cost. And that's everything that we talk about, at least in the Discord for the inner circle, which I will open up soon for you guys to be able to join as well. So going back into the B word conference, we didn't see the huge, large green candles that many people were anticipating. I was seeing the chat run up on about 5 different live streams and people trying to get crypto, to have some type of life or to signal that this is going to be the next start to the bullish run. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the case forever. Now with Dogecoin, we did see a little pump up too, but it's hard to say if that was actually correlated with the price of the B word conference occurring. There's still under 20 cents right now. There is still opportunity with that coin, but for me, I'm not touching any type of meme coins anymore. I'm leveraged enough into those positions, and until we see any more volume going into the overall market cap for crypto, I just see Bitcoin and Ethereum currently being the most safest bets. But if you do want to play it more risky, you can consider other altcoins to make those more higher swing trades with this market right now. So the second point here is that Musk said Tesla would most likely resume accepting Bitcoin for purchases once mining becomes less environmentally taxing. He later quotes, "It looks like Bitcoin is shifting more towards renewables." Musk said, "I would want to do a little bit more diligence to confirm the percentage of renewable energy usage is at or above 50%. They also then went ahead and had more conversations about alternative renewable energy sources. They talked about nuclear, they talked about solar, they talked about wind. And one of the concerns that he mentioned was the fact that with mining Bitcoin, it needs to be continuous energy. And with some of these renewable sources, you're not going to get that consistency that you can find in other alternative energy classes like using coal. So they do want to have more data. They do want to do more research before making that commitment again to where maybe Tesla would accept Bitcoin again. I believe with the response that he gave, this was still really good news to hear, only because he is still open to it and he is not stubborn enough, even after all the Bitcoin maximalism analysts literally trolled the crap out of Musk for his, I would say, conversations and his point of view on where Bitcoin is at. I still appreciate the fact that he is open to this because it gives us the chance to see Tesla still adding this once we get more concrete evidence. They did also talk about the Chinese miners and how them getting flooded out of China and them not having their shop set up, that actually helped the energy consumption a lot as well. Now, Cathie Wood also did make some really good contributions to the debate, and she said that corporations should consider adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, partly as a hedge against deflation. So what's really interesting about her is that she has a perception of rather deflation happening in the United States rather than inflation. So her theories are a little bit more different, and it's really fascinating to hear. She also mentioned how if deflation occurs in the US, then we would see hyperinflation in other countries. Now, what all this means is if you guys ever take a vacation, like say you go to Jamaica or you go to Mexico or Tulum, like whenever you go there, you can always pay in their national currency, right? Whatever they use, whether it's pesos or whatever the Jamaican currency could be. But most importantly, a lot of the residents in those countries will oftentimes still take the US dollar. And that's because the US dollar is still very dominant in the entire world as a global currency. So what Cathie Woods is implying here is that with the US dollar being so strong, if we start to see deflation, other countries who have different currencies are going to start seeing an increase in their price. She also added that the Financial Accounting Standards Board should reconsider how it classifies Bitcoin, since institutions currently have to write off holdings when the price declines. Listing it as an intangible asset could help remedy that. Now, this is just another idea of Wall Street and some other companies who, where if they see the price of Bitcoin falling, where they have added it to their balance sheets, they could write it off. But at the same time, whenever you see an increase in the price, there is an unfair advantage in the market where they can show it on the reports. And it's not necessarily fair in comparison to the decrease of these holdings rather than the increase that we may see. Now, one of my favorite mentions that Cathie Woods had was actually the integrity of the Bitcoin development team and their extensive knowledge in the economic space. So she went ahead and talked about how she met up with a lot of the Bitcoin developers. And I was like, did this girl really meet with Satoshi? Does she know who that is? Or is she just talking about, you know, their dev team, which is probably the case here. And I really liked what she had learned. And she talked about how they were so intelligent in the space of global and world economics. And they really understood the value of where Bitcoin would be. And one of the more eye-opening statements that I believe she said was how they could work for any single sole corporation, whether it's Google, Amazon, or anyone out here, but they choose to work on these open source projects like Bitcoin in order to help people where they make less money. It could be more taxing for them mentally. It's definitely a lot of work as well, but they choose to do this because they are simply trying to help out the world. They have a strong moral, ethical compass, and I just really appreciate that. I believe it's so important to understand the different dilemmas and different contributions of where crypto is headed, especially on the ethical standpoint as well. Now, later into the debate, they also mentioned negative interest rates in Europe. Now, this was really fascinating because I had no idea about this. So Musk went ahead and noted that the company's bank balances in Europe have negative interest rates, and he said it drives him crazy. So what this means is if you're a citizen of Europe, there are some areas where you'll actually be getting your money taken out of your bank account. So say you get a paycheck of $10,000 into your bank account, and pretty much every time you check that, it goes down. It's like 9,800, 9,600. And the reason for that is because instead of earning interest on your money, they're actually taking away the money in your bank account. It's fascinating to hear that we have other countries actually doing this, especially more of the developed ones like Europe. Let me say this, if we ever get negative interest rates in the United States, I can almost assure you that crypto is just going to moon immediately, and people are going to start realizing the downsides of having a centralized banking system. So with situations like this, it really is eye-opening, and it's crazy to try to imagine that the US could be like this. I don't think it would happen, But I also didn't think that a global pandemic would, ravage the world as well too. So who knows? Maybe this is a sign, but as of now, just stay tuned for information like that. So on top of that, Elon went ahead and asked Jack Dorsey if he would consider payment providers accepting Bitcoin. Now, this is really fascinating. So there's been a lot of pressure on Elon because he did decide to accept Bitcoin on Tesla's website and then he pulled it off. But a lot of people forget that there are other CEOs who could potentially do the same thing as well. So Jack Dorsey had gotten a question from Elon, and Elon kind of put him on the spot and he said, yo, Jack, so, when are you going to start accepting Bitcoin too? Like, are you ever going to allow your advertisers who are putting millions and millions of dollars into Twitter to allowing them to use Bitcoin or receive Bitcoin? And Jack was I felt like a little bit of tension in his response, but it was good because his response to Elon asking that was pretty fascinating. So Jack had mentioned he wanted to focus more on the economic developments, and he also talked about the project Blue Sky, which is a decentralized social media platform. He kind of curbed Elon's question on it, and he said that he really wasn't interested in adding the acceptance of cryptocurrency right now, and he'd rather focus more on the longer term vision of the overall cryptocurrency project. And I do believe this is when he mentioned his hardware wallet as well. So it's really fascinating to see Jack Dorsey's support for cryptocurrency, but how he likes to take a different approach rather than Elon Musk. But at the same time, the argument is that we haven't really seen Twitter or any of Jack Dorsey's other companies adding a significant amount of Bitcoin to their balance sheet that we have with like MicroStrategy or even with Tesla. But at the same time, Jack Dorsey wants to be a huge advocate, but we're not seeing the same actions. So I do believe Elon in that sense, when he mentioned earlier in this debate that he's actually losing money whenever Bitcoin does go down, there is facts to that too. It doesn't help him when Bitcoin goes down at all. So I think if we take a step back from our emotions, we can also see that a lot of these CEOs are working and they are trying to attempt their best to make sure that the developments occur, and they are doing everything that they can with their own positions in making sure that these developments happen. All right, guys, so here are my final thoughts. Although we didn't see the huge green candlesticks that many people were anticipating, the conversations that took place showed a very bullish sign for crypto. Overall, everyone was in support of cryptocurrencies and the developments of the market. The approach of these conversations gave us a renewed feeling of congruency in the market, helping the planet with energy concerns, reaching unbanked populations, and offering more solutions to the array of problems we have seen with the amount of money being pumped into the economy, like inflation and all the stimulus packages that we have discussed on this channel. So the question is, what is next? If that is the case, and if we're seeing that renewed congruency, how come we're not seeing a huge shift in the market price, Brian? How come Bitcoin's not at $40,000 right now? So first of all, I want to talk about the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Today, it's actually at a 21 right now, so it's extremely fearful. But I do believe that the event that took place yesterday, we're going to see the effects of it, just not immediately. I think we're going to start seeing just more confidence being built over time. And I believe it's going to give us the fuel or the seed planted in this continued bull run, hopefully that we get to at least have that fuel to help us end the quarter 4 strong. So it's really difficult to predict where crypto is going to be right now, but I would not be surprised if we're still in this consolidation phase where we're trading sideways up until the 4th quarter, and then we begin to see a little bit more volume, a little bit more life, and then we continue seeing more of those consistent green days, because that's what led us to see the start of this past Bitcoin bull cycle. So good green days overall. If we're even able to get like 1% every single day for a week, that is tremendous. I would even take that right there. But anytime we get a 2% increase in the market and the very next day it's still like a 3% decrease, and the next day it's like a 4% increase, like we're still going very sideways, and it's very difficult to take a look at any type of TA right now and try to predict where we're going with the market. So right now, the best form of non-financial advice that I can hand you guys is to just hold on during these times. And whenever you see the dips in the market, continue to average in slowly into those positions, because you will still win long-term. Crypto will blow up. Crypto will come back. The developments are being made. Some of the world's largest financial influencers, or even just the people in the world, still have such confidence in this asset class, and compared to anything in the market, Whether it's cars, whether it's watches, whether it's homes, whether it's a stock market, anything, I still have the most amount of faith in cryptocurrency over it all. So don't forget to check out the links down below in the description. Check out BlockFi where you can earn additional crypto on top of the crypto that you already have. Don't forget to check out Webull. You get 2 free stocks, one valued up to $1,850 after you use my link down below in the description. And also check out Surfshark, 83% off and 3 months free using my link down below. Protect yourself, use a VPN. That's all I got to say, folks. Thank you all so much again for watching. And until next time, peace out.